Liz, welcome to the podcast. My first question is, who are you and why are you here?
My name's Liz Court, and I'm a recertified teacher of Transcendental Meditation. It's been my joy to teach Transcendental Meditation since 1970.
Nice. Yeah. And you taught me, which has been amazing. So thank you. So
My pleasure.
yeah, so what I wanted to do today was just talk to you about what is TM for someone who doesn't really know about it, and what it means, and a bit about your experience, because you worked directly with the guy, the man himself, Maharishi Yogi, who brought TM to the world, right?
Indeed, indeed. It was my pleasure. Yes, so Transcendental Meditation is a unique meditation, totally different from any other forms.
Mm.
There's no concentration, no contemplation. It's just a very simple procedure, and it gives such wonderful, wonderful benefits. And as you've found, Ben, and many, many other meditators throughout the ages, throughout the ages since 1970, have said how much benefit they get from transcendental meditation, and how it just goes on giving and giving more and more, however many years we've been meditating.
Mm. Yeah, for me, I found that learning TM was a lot easier. I mean, it doesn't really get much more simple, does it?
That's right, absolutely. As Maharishi always used to say, anybody who can think can do transcendental
Right.
meditation.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I always say that I think some of the best, most profound things that I've found in my own personal development journey have been the simplest things. And I put TM in that bracket. Like, it's so simple, it's ridiculous. But probably not. But
Yeah,
there's a lot that happens that we don't know, but you don't need to know to do it.
absolutely. Just the natural flow, the natural tendency of the mind wants to go to deeper happiness, even bliss. And we, with doing transcendental meditation, it's just the key to undo so that the mind can go where it wants to go. Normally, it just goes out on the senses in daily life. We don't have time to allow the mind to go in to where greater happiness, more knowledge, total knowledge, everything, even the unmanifest before it gets manifest in life.
Mm,
And this is what TM allows us to do, just in a very simple way.
amazing. And why did you decide to go? Because you went to India when
I did.
you were a young lady, and you told me that it was kind of not the done thing to do when you went. Is, is that right?
Well, it was in 1970, and to be honest, just crossing the channel to France was a big deal in those
Right.
days. So flying all the way over to India, I mean, it didn't bother me because I was determined I was going to go. There was just no question about it.
Mm,
But I think probably my parents just wondered what was where I was going, what I was going to do. Um, but they didn't stop me or anything like that, and I just kept them going with letters while I was out there. But at Maharishi's request, actually, he suggested, although most people on the course he told not to write letters, just to be very inward with the course. For me, yes, inward with the course, but also to write lots of nice things home to my mother.
right.
And that's exactly what I did. And before she died, she gave the letters back to me. And that's when, eventually, many, many years later, I thought, well, I've got these letters. What am I going to do with them? And so I decided I would type them onto the computer.
Hmm.
And then I thought, well, can I make a book out of it? And then one of my meditators suggested doing an ebook,
Mm,
which is what I did, an ebook with a few sounds on it as well, so that it could really give the feeling of being in India. And that there it is. It's there. It's done.
Yeah,
Done and dusted.
that's on your
All at
website.
Marishi's request. So yeah, it is. It is
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah, yeah. And it's there for generations to come, because people are bound to ask, what was it like to be in India with Maharishi?
Mm,
And hopefully it will give a description.
yeah. And what was the moment where you found out about this thing called TM and decided to go? Because obviously quite a big commitment to go to India and learn. Because you went with the intention to become a teacher and then you ended up working with them. Is that right?
No, I didn't go with the idea of becoming a teacher. I think that would have
Oh,
terrified me, as I was at that
oh, you went
stage.
to learn, just to
I
learn.
just wanted, I just wanted more knowledge, because
Okay.
in those days, of course, there was no internet, not even a mobile phone. Come to that, and so Maharishi used to come over here for 2 weeks. We used to hire one of the universities, and he used to come over for 2 weeks each year, and that was it. That was the only time we could get any knowledge. And I
Mm,
thought, well, come on, I want more knowledge.
right.
And then I heard about the course going in India and applied and got accepted on it. And I don't think I realized it was a teacher training course at all. But of course, became a teacher, thankfully,
Wow.
as a result. And yeah, just absolutely enjoyed the whole thing. The flight, I got off the plane, I just felt I was home.
All right.
Just feeling at home, or a home that I felt anywhere in Europe or in the West. And that was it. I was home and I was with Maharishi, and it was great joy.
Mm. So there's
And
a
then later on, of course, he asked me to work for him.
yeah. Yeah. So how long did you end up working with him or for him?
It was about a year. He was over in Europe at that time. I went on another course with him in Kirsten in Austria, and I went to see him and to speak with him, and that's when he asked me if I would work for him. And he then went from there. He went to Mallorca, which is where I picked up working for him, and then from there we moved to Fujifonti, south of Rome. And then at the end of that course, he was going back over to America again. So I was with him for about a year.
And what was it like just being around this real life yogi, you know?
Um, oh, trying to put it into words.
Yeah.
um, he did far more for me than I did for him. Let's say that straight away. As hard as I worked,
Mm.
he certainly did far more for me than I did for him, helping me, I guess, get into higher states of consciousness, get me out of wherever I was at that particular time. And you just knew. I mean, no boss I've had since then has ever, or before, has ever come up to the standards of Maharishi.
Oh, that's
He
probably quite a
just,
higher
he
standard.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely the highest. And you just knew whatever he asked you to do, or whatever he suggested, you just knew it was the right thing. There was no question about it at all, and you just did it.
For
Does
somebody,
that? I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I imagine it's very difficult to kind of describe. I can't really imagine
Mm,
what it would be like, but um, for somebody who doesn't really understand why you would meditate and what consciousness is, can you kind of
mhm.
explain that?
Yeah, I mean, people come for all different reasons to learn transcendental meditation, and it doesn't matter what reason, because they'll start the technique and they'll have all the benefits come as a result. Um, what was the other part of the question, Ben?
So, what is consciousness?
What is consciousness? Maharishi talks about 7 states of consciousness,
Mm,
and the first one is waking, second one dreaming, third one sleeping, which we all know. We all
mm,
know those 3 states of consciousness. When we start practicing transcendental meditation, we then have transcendental consciousness. as we continue with meditation and maybe do some of the advanced techniques, we then go into cosmic consciousness, and then more and more practice of TM. Then there's God consciousness. And then the final consciousness that Maharishi talked about was unity consciousness, where everything is us and we are everything. It's just a completely different outlook on life and on the world.
And what is it? How do you explain what it is to somebody who has no idea?
Oh, it's something that we all have.
Mm.
As I said before, waking, dreaming, and sleeping, we all know those states of consciousness.
Yeah.
Consciousness is everywhere. It's from even the smallest grain of sand has consciousness in it.
Mm.
So everything in life has consciousness. Consciousness is all there is the way Tony Nader speaks today, who he was the next person that Maharishi named as being the next in line of the Vedic tradition when Maharishi left his body. And so consciousness is all there is. Whatever we see, whatever we touch, has consciousness in it to some degree.
Yeah. So the theory is that what's the smallest? Because at an atomic level, 90% of the atom is nothing. Is that right? Like,
Scientific knowledge in me that we're not very
well,
compatible.
no, I don't know why I'm pretending it is with me either, but it's because it's not. But that was something that I was listening to. I think there's another kind of yogi who I listened to the other day, and he was talking about at the smallest level ever there is almost nothing.
Yeah.
And that consciousness is the thing that makes everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is everything, which is kind of wild.
It is everything. Yeah. Consciousness is all there is. Is the way that Tony puts it, but it's the same thing, same principle.
And so when you're transcending into consciousness, you're connecting with it, or what are you doing? Like, what is the actual?
You're connecting to the self with a big S.
Okay.
And that's when we get to know ourselves better than before we've learned to meditate. We actually know ourselves. And yes, it's consciousness that we transcend to. It's everything that we transcend to. It's where all knowledge is. As I mentioned before it gets manifest. And so we actually, when we transcend, we go beyond even the source of thought and go transcend beyond that. And that's where we go into consciousness, transcendental consciousness, unbounded consciousness is another term that Maharishi used to use. So yeah, that's it. That's as close as you can get.
Yeah. I guess it's one of those things that's actually quite difficult to explain, really. You just got to experience it, in a sense.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
yes. It's a bit like trying to describe what a strawberry tastes like to somebody who's never tasted the strawberry. You can describe it, you can say what it looks like, you can say it's nice, it's sweet, but until they actually put a strawberry in their mouth and taste it,
true.
They don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And TM is like that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that is good. That is a good analogy. So one of the things that attracted me to TM was, I think I've tried lots of different types of meditation and never really, I've never stuck to it. I've never managed to really, I've never experienced the benefits like I experienced the benefits of TM. I mean, I was straight in when you gave me my mantra. I think I was straight in, and I was within 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, 1 minute maybe. And so I see people when I tell people about TM, I see them kind of rolling their eyes and being like, yeah, I've tried all the meditations. And I'm like, no, I know, so have I. This is different. This is different. So why is it so different?
Totally do. Um, I think certainly I can only talk obviously from the TM point of view because I've never practiced any of these other meditations. But TM comes directly from the Vedas, and the Vedas is the original knowledge that was brought out into the world, and actually where everything, all knowledge has come from. And TM comes directly from that knowledge. It's been going for millennia, back to the beginning of time even.
Mm,
Um, and so it's been passed down from teacher to student throughout the ages in an oral way. And this has kept it going. It's gone all these times, all these years. So obviously it works.
mm,
Otherwise it would have hit the dust years ago. So it's been kept in its pure state. And when we teach today, we teach in exactly the same way as they would have done millennia ago. And that's kept the purity. And we impart it, and the purity is completely there, undiluted. Um, I think a lot of meditations are quite new ones that have been brought out
oh,
maybe
I
the
see.
last few years. I know back in 1967 when I learnt, as far as I know, there wasn't any other meditation around.
Oh, right.
Thankfully for me,
Yeah.
because I hit on the right one.
So this is the
um,
original.
so, absolutely. I mean, and Maharishi just with all the knowledge around surrounding that, because sometimes knowledge does get splintered over time, it gets lost.
Mm,
Um, and he brought all of the whole lot of the Vedas back into their completeness. That was one of the many jobs that he had to do, and did it beautifully and perfectly.
mm.
Um,
Because
and generations.
this is just one of, and I like the way that he presented it as a technology as well.
Mm, mm,
Can you speak a bit
yeah,
to that? Because this is, I think, partly why I'm drawn to it is it's because it's a technology for creating peace
yeah,
in the mind.
absolutely.
And I had the sort of message to me, which was I help people win the war in their minds. It's like creating peace in your mind. And then I found this meditation almost, similar time. It feels rather divine timing.
Yes. We start meditation when at the right time. It's the right time for us.
Mm,
And some people have a journey beforehand and do other things, other meditations, and then gradually they get to the point, well, wait a minute, there is something else. There's something I'm not getting. And they learn TM and they realize that this is what was missing.
yeah.
And they go on as you have done, go on meditating and gaining more and more and more each day.
And it's got it's got lots of scientific backing as well, which I think is really
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
speak a
We've
little bit
got,
to that?
I think, well, yeah, we have about 8 volumes now, and the volumes are about that thick.
All
Each
right.
one is about that thick. Um, and they're doing a completely continuing with the science research. Maharishi is a young man. He went to a university in India and studied physics.
Right.
And of course, by the time he was out teaching meditation, he realized that we were in a scientific world. And that's why he started um, teaching under those terms,
Mm,
in those words. Um, and you mentioned just now about the large groups of meditators for peace.
mm,
And this was one thing that he very much wanted to bring about. And he had several goes in his lifetime where he had groups of, in those days, 8,000
right.
in America. Washington was a well-known one. And what happened was he told us all to look in the newspapers, listen to the news, and watch what happens. And what happened once the course started, the negativity things in the world began to go down, and the positive things began to go up, and there was more and more positive things to be reported in the newspapers and on the news.
Mm.
At the end of the course, because everybody had gone on their summer holidays and go on this course, so they had to go back obviously to their lives, their livelihoods, their work and so on. And at the end of the course, when the course broke up, the reverse started. The negativity started coming up, positivity started going down. And so
Mm.
he did this to show us. He knew it would work, but
But it
to
wasn't
show
even,
us
it
that.
was more than that, wasn't it? There's statistics, wasn't there? Crime statistics as well, which changed.
Absolutely, yeah. It
Yeah.
all went down.
Yeah.
All went down. Anything negative, death rates, accidents, road accidents,
Yeah.
everything,
Wow.
wars, everything began to go down.
Mm.
And then, of course, got reversed after the course. So one of the things that Dr. Tony Nader Maharaja, who is the next in line from Maharishi, Maharishi wanted him to get groups, a group at least to start with, of now 10,000 together on a permanent basis.
Oh, right.
And it's just my joy to say that we are very, very close to the first group being permanent.
Okay. Is this the one in India?
Yeah, yes, it's the lady farmers in the Himalayas.
Okay.
I think they will be the first group. But there are four other groups very close behind, and many others worldwide. Mexico is one of the close ones, and I think there were three others in India, but they are coming up all over the world.
So they're just permanently
Uh,
meditating.
Permanently meditating, yeah, permanently doing the city program, the
Wow.
yogic flying that Maharishi brought out,
Yeah.
and they're just permanently. It's like their job
That's
to do their
crazy.
meditations morning and
Wow.
evening. Yeah, 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 yeah. And
So what do
this
they,
is
how do they, uh, how are they funded? How do they exist as a group of people who just permanently meditate?
um, to be honest, I'm not. This hasn't really come out. I think it'll probably be local. Um, Local meditators, maybe local well wishers. I don't know, to be honest, the answer to that one.
Mm.
Um, yeah, yeah. I guess maybe. No, I'm sorry. Sorry about that,
What?
Ben, but I really don't know the answer to that one.
That's okay. I think I heard that there was when we went on the retreat, there was some kind of fund or some kind of that Maharishi had established.
Yes, yes,
That
there
might be
is.
related.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it's called now. It's for actually for the pundits, I think, the one that you're talking about.
Okay.
Um, but it might have been extended. Could very well
Mm.
have been extended.
So what?
Um,
That's it. And like, what's it like? Have you sat in meditation that long? Like, what's it like? Because I would imagine that some people would be like, "That's how does anyone sit in meditation that long? Surely that's boring."
okay, no. It's not all day long. They would do their probably a longer program in the morning, so it would be several hours probably.
Okay,
And
still
then
quite a long
they would
time.
get. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they would do their normal activities, and then they would do again a longer program in the evening.
Okay, right.
So yeah, this is how it would work. And I guess if they're doing their normal activity in between, lady farmers, for instance, they would be earning something because they would
Yeah.
still be doing their farming.
And what you sit you're in meditation for quite a while each day, aren't you? How long do you
Yes.
do?
Yeah. I do about 2 hours,
Wow.
about 2 hours, morning and evening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2 hours.
four in all.
Oh, four in all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. So can you again, I guess it's like the strawberry thing, but can you explain what that's like?
It's an extension of a shorter program. You just obviously get more benefits because you're doing it for longer. It's a joy. It's not, oh, I'm going to sit down and do this 2 hours.
Yeah.
The whole thing is a joy to do. And the benefits, of course, are speeded up because of the longer program.
Mm. Yeah. So it's a joyful process. It's not a chore, which is kind of the,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, I look forward to doing mine, and I'm not perfect. I don't do I do most days, twice a day, but I do look forward to it, which is completely different to every other meditation that I've done. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you can sort of tell when you haven't done it.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly if it's the morning one. You have a
Yeah,
very grotty day.
yeah, definitely. Um,
Yeah.
okay, cool. What's if somebody wants to learn, what's the best method? How do they go about doing it? Where do they start?
Okay. So it depends, obviously, if they're in Hampshire or close by, then I would be their local teacher.
Hmm.
And they could come through on my local website, TM Hampshire, mic.org.uk,
Hmm.
or they could go through the national office if they're further afield, and they will give them their local teacher, recertified teacher.
Cool. And what do they need to know? Or would you offer any words of encouragement to go in? I mean, I just encourage everyone to go and do it. If you're hearing this podcast, there's a reason. The reason you're hearing it right now is because you need to go and learn TM, and the reason you've listened to this long of us talking about it, you just got to go and learn it. I think it's just one of the best things. What would you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the best thing I've ever done in my life. And
yeah,
my meditators all report the same thing as well. Because it's just, you wake up, you see life and you are life somehow,
mm,
through doing TM. Everything gets better. You achieve more because when we transcend, um, we contact that source of thought. We go beyond the source of thought to where all knowledge is. What stresses we have are between the activity level and the transcendence level. And as we go on meditating, the two lines come gradually closer and closer together as we get rid of more and more stress until one day we have no overload of stress. We
mm,
need stress, obviously, to walk down the road. One leg stresses as the other one is put forward and so on. But we're talking about the overload of stress. And when we then are in that point where we think and we act from that level of the transcendence, everything that we do, we don't even think, oh, no, I could do that and that would give that result, or I could give that and that would give that result. We don't need to do that anymore.
mm,
Spontaneously, we do the right action of whatever is needed at that particular time. And that gradually grows. We don't have to wait until that level of consciousness comes. Even from the beginning, we're beginning to pick the thought up at a deeper and deeper level, deeper to the source of thought. And the same thing happens. The thinking is stronger. And if the thinking is stronger, the activity is stronger. And if the activity is stronger, then we achieve much more quickly and very productively.
mm. Yeah,
So even from day one, that's beginning to happen.
yeah,
Um, and
and
it's
it's quite powerful more powerful at the start almost. I think.
more powerful at the
Or
start.
maybe it's just a bigger impact at the start, which is why it feels like
Yeah,
deeply
yeah,
resting.
mm. I think when we begin, the first time that we begin, we're comparing being a meditator to being a non-meditator, and
Yeah,
that's a big step.
yeah, true. Yeah,
Then, as we go on meditating, we're still obviously getting better and better and getting more and more benefits, and we do recognize those. But if we look at yesterday compared to today, when we're a meditator, there's not the contrast as
Mm,
that first meditation that we have.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, it's been a great thing for me, and I think it's just like you said, it's just de-stresses you at the very basic level. You're gonna be less stressed. You're gonna be more focused, more conscious, more present. I met somebody the other day, and she was like, I feel like we know each other," and I was like, "I don't think we do." But then we both have done TM, and she had quite a
That's
strong
right.
experience as well. So she went to cosmic consciousness, like I think after a second meditation or something
Yeah,
incredible. So
yeah,
she
yeah.
just maybe it was that, maybe it was the fact that we were both present with each other. Who knows? I mean, you probably know, but or maybe we've been hanging out in cosmic consciousness with each other. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? Um, but that is what happens, particularly when we go on courses. We might not know anybody at all on the course, and I've been on many international courses where that's actually been the case. But they're not strangers
Mm,
because you're meeting on that level, if you like, of the transcendence,
yeah.
and everybody goes to that level. So everybody, if you like, is almost a part of one another.
Well, yeah. I mean, we
Because
are, right?
that,
From an
yeah,
evolutionary point of view, we
yeah, yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that level there's no boundaries,
Mm,
absolutely no boundaries. So, if somebody's sitting meditating in England and somebody else is in Australia, they're going to the same thing and the link is there because there's no
right.
boundaries. If they were
Yeah.
sitting up on the sun, there'd be no boundaries or another universe.
Yeah. And the other thing I like about it is you don't need to subscribe to anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no religion or there's no
Absolutely.
indoctrination that particularly
Yeah.
has to happen. You just literally go see your teacher. Some kind of secret ceremony happens that you don't really understand. You don't need to understand, and and then you give the mantra, and that's kind of all there is to it. There's no funfair around it. There's no hoo ha.
No, it's purely a technique.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's something that, what shall I say? A lot of people have talked about throughout the ages about the benefits, probably, and consciousness and so on. Um, but they don't tell you how to practice it or how to get there.
Yeah.
They tell you the end of the journey, but they don't tell you where you get on the train and what the station is and where
Mm,
you go from there.
yeah,
Um, and that's the beauty of TM. It's just a very, very simple
yeah,
technique.
yeah. It's
And
almost the
from that
opposite.
simple technique, yeah,
It's the
from
opposite.
that
Like
simple
here's the
technique.
train. Here's the go on the journey, and you'll experience. Well, who knows what
Mm,
you'll experience, but you'll experience what you'll experience.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a really good way of putting it. I like that.
Mm,
Yeah, brilliant. Well, we're almost out of time. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me today and
my pleasure.
sharing your knowledge. I always get this sense that when I speak to you, you're aware of how little I know about consciousness and TM. And then you say things, and I have millions of questions for you afterwards.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. Yeah, I like it. I like it. But it's good because I don't want to knock religion, but I'll just say I've never got on with religion because I've always had questions about it, and they've never really been satisfactory answers. Whereas, like you said, in this sense, you don't need to believe anything. There's no religion. It's just get on the train and see where you go, and then ask
Absolutely.
questions about what you experience along the way.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful journey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good. Well, thank you, Liz.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. As you know, I love talking about TM and speaking with people.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Thanks for your time. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.